This week is my 23rd birthday. I've always loved a good birthday, and not just my own. I love to plan a little party, craft up a little gift, cook up a dish, and envelop myself in love. What's there to celebrate in this life if not being around for more of it? This year felt different though. This year, when thinking about my birthday and potential plans to celebrate it, I felt embarrassed, as though there was no dignity to be found in inviting some friends over for a drink to celebrate me, I guess. Working with kids, you find an appreciation for their directness. My students will often ask me, "How old are you?" Either in their naivety of not understanding that some might consider that a rude question, especially to ask a stranger, or they're realizing of that potential rudeness and then proceeding to do it anyway. I'm not totally sure.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's your day going so far? Pretty good. Well, my name is Ranger Laurel, and I'm calling in all the way from Yellowstone National Park. Oh, you might see this logo if you visit a national park.
This was a great job today, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye. My actual flat hat that is gonna fit my head hasn't come in yet. It's on back order because my head is so huge. So I've been having to wear one that is too small in the meantime.
I'll usually respond, "How old do you think I am?" After all, it's our job as educators to foster curiosity and encourage critical thinking. I've gotten anywhere from 25 to 30 to 35, and one time 37, but never my actual age. When I tell them with a trained neutrality that I'm 22, I usually get some form of, "Wow, I thought you were a lot older than that." Gotta love kids. All jokes aside, I've had to sit with myself in the discomfort of being pegged as 5 to 10 years older than I really am, and challenge myself on why it is that I would feel offended by that in the first place. After all, there are far worse things to be called than 30 or 35, so why does it always cause such a resounding unease in my psyche? You know you're deeply ingrained in our society's hatred of aging women when you're worrying about it at the ripe age of 23 years old. And despite the fact that I consider myself very feminist and look to the older women in my life with nothing but admiration, the messaging has somehow seeped into my brain that I'm approaching something scary, something to be feared. I blame the patriarchy for this, but I also blame the fact that I've spent pretty much my entire life identifying with the label of young, a young person, the youngest even. I was the last grandchild in my family, a baby girl after 4 boys. I was thoroughly spoiled throughout my childhood and adolescence. I've never known a life without love and never wanted for anything. While I wouldn't say I had a lack of responsibility or expectation in my household growing up, I, in retrospect, can recognize the fact that I was probably let off the hook easier than the boys who came before me. As well as being the youngest in my family, my birthday sits right at the end of April, which typically put me on the younger end of my graduating class. In fact, I graduated college the day before I could legally drink alcohol. For a while there, I was riding a high. I thought, I'm ahead of the curve. If I can just keep working and keep saving, I can stay the youngest and the most ambitious in the room wherever I go. But despite those high hopes, here's my 22 going on 23 reality. I have yet to work a permanent job, ever. Every job that I've ever had, including the one that I have now, the one that I'll have over the summer, and the one that I'll have in the fall, are all seasonal. Internships, apprenticeships, and seasonal roles are the only ones that I've ever known. I spent about 5 months between 2025 and 2026 living in my grandparents' spare bedroom. I was doom scrolling on job boards day in, day out, begging any company with a decent salary and some benefits to spare to give me a chance. Despite my grandparents' bottomless hospitality and grace, not having had to pay for any rent or even groceries, by the time that I moved out west in February, my emergency fund was completely gone. What I had deemed an honestly impressive amount to have saved up at my age was back at $0. I have some money set aside in a Roth IRA, but I haven't contributed to it in over a year, and according to the calculator online, I need to start contributing about $5,000 a year if I want to retire before I'm 70. Great. I'm living out a dream that is a culmination of years of hard work and of not taking no for an answer. And in many ways, it's everything I've ever wanted and more, but I still cry at least once a week because I miss my mom or my boyfriend or my college roommates. Once a month or so, I will get an insane bout of baby fever, only to realize the week after that in many ways, I am still a baby myself, or at least I feel like I am. And to be honest, being an adult so far is a lot of throwing myself this sort of pity party, or panicking over a large expense or a lack of direction in my career, in my relationships, or some other nonsense, only to realize that nobody's coming to save me. This is it. I've realized that this is the quote real world that all of the bitter adults warned you and I about when we were growing up. Between the ages of 18 and 22, you can largely get away with not knowing anything because you're still considered college-aged, really just a kid. But at 23, it's like a shift happens where people are now going to expect more from you. And of course, it's now at 23 that I feel like I know less than I ever have and have less direction than I ever have as well. I don't want to whine too much, as being an adult has also come with a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I can split a hotel room with some girlfriends and go to the club on one night and a rodeo the next, which I did a few weeks ago. I don't have to ask anyone's permission to go get a coffee or take a long walk or have a sleepover. The decisions I make from here on out are mine and mine alone. To quote Taylor Swift,
"The scary news is you're on your own now. But the cool news is you're on your own now."
moving away from family and friends has come with a lot of growing pains, but also so much beauty and new people and their stories and new experiences I never would have had if I hadn't left. I actually did end up celebrating my birthday this year. I treated myself to a fresh tattoo and an iced almond milk latte. My coworkers, who are currently doubling down as my only friends locally, agreed to come to the hot springs for a little bit just to have a little soak, a little chat. It was very low-key and relaxing, and despite my initial fears and feeling of humiliation throwing myself a birthday celebration at 23, not a one of them expressed feeling inconvenienced by coming. I'd actually venture to say that everybody had a good time, and to be honest, I think that most people are truly just down to be in community with their friends, with their people, and embrace reasons to celebrate, no matter what those reasons actually are. While I do feel scared saying goodbye to 22, I am looking forward to learning more things in the next year and hopefully learning to be a bit more comfortable in the 23 and beyond version of myself. And also feeling comfortable with being more embarrassed in my day-to-day life.
Somebody very close to me, I was at a party once and I was dancing and they said, embarrassment is an underexplored emotion, go out there and make a fool of yourself. And things like that.
That's really a good fucking mantra.
To just go for it. Like feel that feeling, the fear of cringe.
That's
and
really
then go
good.
out there and do it.
Dude,
because
that's
everything
really
you want
good.
is on the other side of that.